And we see certain companies that are smart enough, that have the vision and the ability to execute on it. So you might recall that we had this big thing called a financial crisis back in 08, 09 in the US. GM and Ford, you might recall, were bankrupt, and they had to be bailed out by the US government. And they were bailed out, and they were reissued, IPO'd back to the public. And they were a effective pair trade. I mean, they tracked each other extremely closely until something happened. And that thing that happened was GM in March 2016 agreeing to pay up front about $600 million for a zero revenue self-driving software company called Cruise Automation that had, I think, about 25 employees. Why did GM do that? Well, GM saw that its future over the next 10 years was going to be completely different. That in 10 years' time, we're not going to have vehicles that are driven by human beings on petrol, but we're going to have self-driving electric vehicles of all different shapes and sizes and forms. And they decided they couldn't do it in-house, so they had to acquire the very best software company with the right team that they could find. And that was in the form of Cruise. And what we saw here is over the following years, this is the pandemic correction, so it's hard to include that given the uncertainty. It formed a huge gap with Ford in terms of how GM treated the Cruise employees. It's almost a reverse takeover. It's a great story.